Good morning, everybody. Naturally Caffeinated Dale here. Today is Monday. This is the week of September 13th, 2021. And this is your positive quote of the week. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, it's Naturally Caffeinated Dale. Please do that. I appreciate it. It helps me out. In the meantime, here's what I have to say this week. I wanted to kind of give some reflection on a couple of recent observations that I've had about people that are newer to the career world and maybe newer to the performing world. And I've done both. I've been in careers for a long time, and then I've also been performing for a long time. So here are my 2 cents. And I do have a few quotes to kind of tie into them. And the concept is tied into doing the best you can with whatever resources you have and being okay with that, because it is a process. You don't have to be perfect right away, right? You basically can do your best, adapt, change, tweak, and then improve off of whatever you're doing. But if you're with people or surrounded by people that give a darn about you, then they're going to give you some flexibility. They're not going to hold you too accountable to being amazing right off the bat, especially if you're new at whatever you're trying to do. So here are a couple of quotes. The first is by Edmund Hillary, and it's not the mountain we conquer, but ourselves. So understand that the things we do, and I've used this in my positive quotes of the day prior, but I thought it was really fitting for this application, because when we struggle or when we are trying to do something that seems really challenging or hard, one of the largest obstacles that we have is our own mindset. And it's not trying to conquer that big task or that mountain, so to say. It's about getting ourselves comfortable with doing the best we can and just starting. Right? So if you go ahead and get rolling and do the best you can, start walking, start hiking up that mountain, you're gonna be farther along than you were 5 minutes ago, and you're gonna be closer to the end goal of climbing the mountain, or playing that guitar song, or doing great at the job or that career that you're trying to do. So that's from Edmund Hillary. Another one that I really liked was this. It was from Og Mandino, and he said, "Always do your best. What you plant now, you will harvest later." So when you do the best you can, you're starting that process. You're dropping that seed, and then you're cultivating that seed. You're cultivating that skill. You're cultivating that ability, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And hopefully down the road, you get better at it. But by starting, by dropping that seed, doing your best, you then progress if you keep working at it, and you're able to harvest those rewards. You're able to kind of reap those rewards later. So if you're trying to play guitar, for example, and I'm not going to give a name, but was recently with someone who was new to playing guitar and singing, and they were in a group that was kind of a small group, but they were very nervous, and that's normal. It's natural to do that. And I watched this person really struggle with it, and there was some anxiety there, and that person was really, really having a hard time doing it. And I watched that person be ready to start and then stop, and be ready to start and stop. And at the end, when that person finally did start playing and singing, they did a great job. Were they the most amazing guitar player ever? No. Were they the best singer ever? No. But it sounded nice, and it was pleasant, and it was enjoyable for the group that was there. But there was so much anxiety that the person almost didn't start playing. And what I tried to explain was, once you could get beyond what was in here, then that person was able to be successful, be able to play, and they did a great job. So again, that maybe goes back to the previous quote of Edmund Hillary, where it's not the mountain we're conquering, but ourselves. It's our mindset. It's the ability to start and progress and do something well. Okay? The last quote is a long one, but I thought it had value, and it is this. It's by John Quincy Adams, and he said this. He said, "Patience and perseverance have a magical effect, which difficulties disappear and obstacles vanish." Patience and perseverance. A little knowledge that starts, is worth indefinitely more than much knowledge that is idle. So having all that knowledge, way more knowledge, but not doing anything with it, not starting, not trying. So the core of what that is being patient, persevering, trying your best, but taking the step, taking action, doing what you can is much more impactful, and it will have much bigger rewards for you in your life if you get started and do your best and then kind of work from that, versus being an expert at it, but not actually starting, or taking all this information, learning all this stuff about it, but never actually trying it or doing it, right? I think we sometimes get stuck there. The last personal experience that I'll talk about is another person that I interact with, and I'm not going to give this person a name, but it's a gal that I had intern for me at one of the programs at Westfield State University. Super talented person, probably one of the most talented people that I've ever had the opportunity to work with. We did sales programs, we did outreach, direct outreach, etc. And she was awesome. She had a great attitude, great energy. She learned what the skill set was. She practiced. She saw herself improve and get better, and she enjoyed that sales type role. Well, she recently took on a role that wasn't an amazing fit. And it wasn't an amazing fit for two reasons, in my opinion. She didn't really like what she was selling. So that was one key piece. And number two, the organization didn't really do a great job cultivating her skill set. They pretty much got her some basic training and then shoved her in a situation where she had to basically sink or swim. And she was struggling and she got frustrated. Now, she ended up leaving that role. But I think the part that stuck out to me the most was she was really afraid of what the company, of what her friends, her family, and maybe other employers might think if she left that role. And we had a good talk and did some coaching and talked about the benefits of being aware that you're not happy. And not saying you're just going to quit right away, but if you've really tried your best and you've done all the things that you can do, it's okay to say, hey, this right here really isn't for me. It isn't a good fit. I'm not a big fan. Because this is a career. This is something you're going to be doing 8, 10, 12 hours a day for an indefinite period of time until you leave that organization and go do something different. But it's how you make your living. And you don't have to love absolutely every single thing that you do when you have a career, but you do need to believe in what you're doing. You have to feel good about it. And you have to get support from the people around you, your boss, your manager, your company, the culture of the organization, your teammates, etc. They say that people don't quit a job, they quit their manager, they quit their boss. So, I just wanted to kind of make a point here that you're doing the best you can. Everything in that experience is a learning lesson. You get better at something, and learning that that role isn't for you and moving forward into something different isn't a bad thing. Finding out a month or 2 months into a new job that it isn't the best fit for you is a blessing, because you don't get stuck doing something that you hate or don't believe in, or you don't have a company supporting you indefinitely for a long period of time. That's probably even worse. So luckily, she was still in a position where, listen, she had the support of her family and friends. She didn't need to make $1 gazillion right now. She could take a step back. There's a ton of companies hiring, and she's going to do amazing things. I know she is. But I just wanted to kind of put it out there that if you're doing something that you're not loving, and you've taken stock and you've tried your best and you've had good conversations, it's okay to move on, and don't let that hurt you. Don't feel bad for a second. Understand that first 30, 60, 90 days of an interaction with a company is a probation period, not just for them to evaluate you, but it's a really great opportunity for you to evaluate them. So just some things and some perspective where you don't let some negativity get in your head, or doubt, or judgment. Don't let your pride get in the way. Be humble. Hey, I tried something, it wasn't a good fit. I think Benjamin Franklin said, I haven't failed. I found 10,000 ways that won't work. Okay, so be comfortable with failure, accept it, learn from it, and then move forward. Sound good? I hope you enjoyed this session for this week. Thank you so much for your support. I appreciate you watching the channel. Please go ahead and hit that like button, turn on the post notifications, tell your friends about the channel, and I'll talk to you again next week.